Hi everybody, it's Jean-Marie. I'm going to make a tutorial today using memory wire and the beads from the new July 2023 bargain bead box. It's a pretty simple necklace to put together as far as everything is just strung on the memory wire, other than putting together these little components here. There's five of these dangles that we're going to put together, making a lot of simple loops. So I've done 4 already, just for saving us some time. So I'll put the other one together for us, show you how I did it. But first, let's go through what we're going to need for materials. And clearly we're going to need 5 of these little feathers. I did buy extra from the sister store. That's why I have 5. I know only 4 came in the box. So if you've only got the 4, you can make it with just 4. It's just as pretty. Straighten stuff out there. So we're going to need 6 of the little crystal rondelles, little faceted crystal rondelles. We're going to need 6 of those. And we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the chrysolite. Those are so pretty. I thought these were gorgeous. Whoop! We got an escapee. So 12 of the chrysolite, 6 of the 8mm crystal rondelle beads in the blue, and we're going to need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the English cut blue beads. This is for the necklace itself, so actually we're going to need to add 5 more for the dangle part here, so that's actually going to be 15. Then we're going to need 20 of these little colored beads that we received. I refer to them as carnival beads because they remind me of carnival glass. So when you hear me saying carnival, I can't even say the word, carnival beads, that's what I'm referring to as these little beads. And there's 20 in here for the necklace, another 5 here, so 25 of them total. And the only other thing is these came from my own stash, and you can do without them, or you can add more of the blue English cut, or whatever you choose to do. But I have I think I have 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 10 of them here. These are a 6mm green rondelle AB, and then I have 5 more here, so 11 total. 11 total of them. So that is what we will need. We'll need a piece of memory wire that is, this one is already been cut once to fit because my camera cut out on me halfway through recording and I had to take everything apart and redo it. So this one has already been cut to the exact size I'm going to need. I would go right across with it and do exactly 1.5 circles. That'll give you plenty to work with because you can always trim it back afterwards when you get to the end. So I would do 1.5 full, good 1.5 circles. So I've already put the loop in the other end. So you're just going to use your round nose pliers and turn a nice tight loop in the end of your memory wire. You're going to need a pair of bent nose pliers, a pair of round nose, a pair of cutters, and some other type of pliers. I prefer these ones because they have a little bit of a grip to them, and with that ridge they hold my jump rings pretty well and they don't get away so easily. There's no jump rings in this, just so you know, but we are going to be turning loops. So you're also going to need, well, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5, so 20 eye pins. I had really long eye pins, so I ended up cutting mine in half, so I actually only had 10. But if you have short ones, you're going to want 20. So let's get started on making the dangle component here. me find the best spot. I'm going to move these actually out of the way a little bit. So basically all I did was I put on the English cut. I would, if I could find the hole in it. There we go. And then bending over my fingernail, like I always do, just so I have enough space so that when I turn my loop, I don't crack my crystal. And then I'm going to take my cutters, and I'm going to cut, leaving about 1/4 of an inch. This is long enough so I can make another one of my loops out of it. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. So all I do is I go up to the end, make sure it's flush, turn completely around until I come back to the wire, put it back in the loop, holding it so that it's, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'm at the bottom, at the base part of the loop, and just give it a little twist, and I have got another simple loop to work with, eye pin. So I did that with all of mine because they were very long, so I had extras, and that way I didn't have to use up everything I had. So then we're going to turn our loops on the end, our simple loops, and you're just going to do little tiny bites all the way down the wire till you get to the end, and you'll have a nice turnt loop. So there's that one. And then we're going to do the coin bead. Again, bend it over, trim it off. Turn it. That one did not come out very pretty. There we go. So there's that one. And then I'm going to take another eye pin. Same thing. Bend it over. Trim it down. Give it a nice little roll. So you got a nice little eye pin. Loop. Now we're going to make an eye pin. So now we've got a nice eye pin to do this last bead with. Get that one in there. Trim it down. Roll my loop. Now I'm going to take the blue English cut bead, and I'm just going to open one end, I find the opening side, by twisting it open, string on the little laser cut feather charm. I think these charms are beautiful. I love them. I definitely want to get some more of them. And then we're going to open the other side up, put on the maybe put on the coin bead, close that one back up. I seem to have, oh, there we go, that's why this one's not open all the way. Open the other side of that up, put on that green crystal rondelle I had, Open that one and put on the last bead, which is the little carnival bead here. And now I have 5 of these dangles. So now we're just going to string up the memory wire piece. So to do that, we're going to start with the carnival beads. We're going to string on 20 of them. So move these out of the way for a moment. Grab the container of them, bring it back in. And we're just simply going to string on all 20. There's 40 in this container, so 20 of them. This is a really pretty box. I just love the colors and stuff in it. And peacocks, you know, you can't go wrong with peacock stuff. I love peacocks. I think they're beautiful. I actually have been looking at peacock eggs on eBay because you can hatch them out. 4, 6, 7. And, you know, you get them fertilized and you incubate them and hatch them out. I have quite a little chunk of property. I live in the woods, and I had chickens. I had 9 chickens right up to this past year. But a fox or something got into them and wiped them out on me. So I've got to update my pen and get some work done around here. And then I'm seriously thinking about hatching out some peacocks. I think they would be really fun. I don't know. We'll see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Big as these holes are, you think I could find it? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Not sure I got enough beads out. Kind of almost looks like I didn't, but that's okay. Problem is I don't know what I would do with them after I hatched them out and raised them. I suppose you could eat the eggs like you do chicken eggs, duck eggs. I don't know, but they're really pretty. They'd be fun to have. I was in Pennsylvania this past winter and visiting friends, and their neighbors had peacocks. They had a white one, and then they had a male fully colored one. They were so neat. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Alright, there's my 20. Let's push this all the way to the end. Then after that, it's I'm going to put on the blue English cut and the green rondelles, alternating 5 of each. So English cut, green rondelle, an English cut, and a green rondelle. This is the last one. All right. of that tray. Push these ones all the way down. So after this, we're going to do 3 of the 8mm blue rondelles. Oops, I don't dump my beads everywhere. Three of these. And then we're going to string on one of the chrysolites. Oh, maybe. One of the little rondelle pieces. Move some of the stuff out of the way so the camera's not trying to pick it all up. Another chrysolite. I'm trying to alternate them a little bit because they seem to be blue or green. They don't have quite as much marbling as I would like. But so another one. So we're going to do a total of 4 beads and 3 of the spacers. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the chrysolites, 3 of the spacers. So now we're going to start putting on our dangles. I'm not going to put them on in any particular direction, and I'm just going to string right through that last loop for the single loop. Simple loop, I mean. Put it on. Pick up another one of the beads, the chrysolites. Another dangle. Another chrysolite. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm probably not. And another bead. This is a really pretty one. Look at the coloration in that. It's got a lot of blue and green. And we're just going to keep doing this until all of our dangles are on. 1 bead in between. Well, it doesn't look like I got enough of those out either. Maybe this one is missing. Alright, so we got all of them on. Now we're going to put on one of these, one of these, and I didn't get out. Well, there. That is interesting. How many of you saw me do that? I said, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Well, that's what I get for not paying attention, I guess. And I just did it wrong again. Can you tell it's evening? I've worked all day. And I've already put this together once already on video. Let's see if it looks right now. There, that looks so much better. Okay, now we'll do one more of the chrysolites. and a spacer, a chrysolite. I think it's chrysocolla, actually, isn't it? Chrysocolla. I'm going to call it chrysolite this whole time. I'm pretty sure it is chrysocolla. I have a tendency to call everything the wrong thing anyway. I'm sure anyone who's watched my videos have noticed that. Okay, so there's that. Looking very pretty. And how can you go wrong with these gorgeous beads? Anything you make is going to be very pretty. So now we're just going to work our way back up. So we're going to go back to 3 of the 8mm rondelles. And on this side we ended with a green. Nope. Yep, we ended with a green, so we're going to start with a green. Green, blue, green, blue, almost there. Oops. Need a green, not a blue. Now the blue. Another green. And the last of the blue. So we're almost done with this. Now we just need to string back on another 20 of these little rainbow beads, little carnival beads, whatever you want to call them. I know they have a name, they're just rainbow spacer beads, whatever. So last night when I was recording, my cat decided he was going to jump right up on the middle of my table and lay right in the middle of everything because evidently he wanted to be on film. He's a good baby, but he likes to get right in the middle of everything. He's a big, huge orange tabby. He weighs 14 pounds. He's only 4 years old. So I guess he's probably technically right at his prime right now. He's a big baby. So if you notice anything like hairs floating around and stuff while I'm working, it's because my cat likes to get right on this spot. It's right in front of a window, so he likes to lay here. He also likes to get into the middle of anything I'm doing because he thinks that's funny. It's kind of like a child that way. So I'm going to be real tight on room because, as I said, I've already made this once and I've cut it already. So here we go. And I've got just enough to roll. And you want to make sure when you roll it, oops, help if I was on screen, that you get that end right up against the wire so it's touching it. Otherwise it will scratch you when you're wearing it. But there is the necklace all finished. Very pretty. I think it came out real nice. So yeah, now let's work on the bracelet. So for the bracelet we're going to need 28, I think it is, of these green agate beads. think it was 28. A toggle clasp, some type of charm. I happen to have a little peacock one, so that's what I'm going to use. And 3 jump rings for that, 2 clamshells, 2 crimp beads. I know they're tiny and you can barely see them. I'm going to need 58, I think it is, of the closed jump rings, and a little bit of beading wire. I'm going to cut 2 sections about, it's all unrolled, so it's going to take me forever to get to the end. I'd say about 8 inches. 2 sections at about 8 to 10 inches, just to give yourself enough to work with. I'd go 10 actually, because the bracelet's going to finish up at around 7, 7.5, so probably 10 inches would be great. You're going to put your 2 ends together. Pick up one of your crimp beads on both wires. Easier said than done. So once I get them both on there, I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to smoosh it onto there enough to hold the wire. Make sure it isn't going to come off. Give it a little trim. Go to the other end and feed on one of the clamshells over both wires through the hole at the bottom. Bring it down to the other end and close it right over that crimp bead. And this is the fun part. This is where the goddess bracelet look starts. This is a cheat. This is like a an easy way or cheater way to make a goddess bracelet. It's not the technical way of making it with, you know, you take your beads and you keep running wire around each one of them and then you come back and go back over them the other way. This has the same look, but it's kind of a mock version of it. So you're going to put on one of your beads and then you're going to take 2 of your jump rings, and if you have split rings you can just use one because it already has the look of 2 with a split ring, and that's what you want, is the look of 2, so it looks like you ran the wire back and forth twice. And you're going to go over both wires, and then you're going to add another bead to the opposite wire, like this. Once you get going, it'll start looking better, but right now it's a little wonky, but it will start looking better once you get going. So then we're going to put on 2 more jump rings right over both wires. Slide it down. Find the wire that you put your first bead on and put another one on that one. So you're alternating back and forth each time with your bead from one wire to the other, and you're always putting your jump rings on 2 at a time over both wires. So it will start looking like this. I'm going to do a little more off camera to save some battery time here, and I will be back. So here's a quick look at how it's progressing, and as you can see, it's starting to look like it's supposed to. It's starting to, you're always going to end up with a little gap here. You can try putting in a small bead to hide it if you wanted to, but honestly on the back when you've got your dangle and your clasp and stuff, you never notice that. So here's what it looks like so far. I'm going to keep going. So there we have the finished goddess bracelet. I did cut mine closer to the 8 inches than 10 because this finishes at 7 with 7.5 with hardware. So I would definitely go a little more than 8 just to give yourself enough room to work. but it's going to work out just fine. So again, we're going to take our clamshell, open it up. This time we're going to put it on kind of so the scoops are up. And again, go down over both of your wires. And then thread on that teeny tiny little crimp bead over both wires. There we go. So that, whoops, sorry. I'm trying to reach for my pliers. So they're both on. And you're going to want to grab a hold of it with your pliers. Push everything down tight. Give it a smush. And I know normally working with beading wire, I always say, you know, just let it, gravity take hold and just let it drop loosely. But for this bracelet to look like it's supposed to look, you really do want these pushed together fairly tightly. So, I mean, I wouldn't push it so hard that, you know, you're making it bend, but you do want to make sure it's down there enough so that they all hold together tightly. And then all you have to do is trim it off again. It would be nice if my cutters worked. And my camera is telling me I am just about done, so I am going to try to quickly add this hardware. So just one jump ring through the loop here. So in case I cut out before then, just let me say, everybody, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy that any of you would spend time with me. Is, you know, it means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate that. I know you've got plenty of options. There's a lot of people out there making jewelry videos, and very, very, very pretty ones at that. So I really appreciate everybody that spends time with me, and I hope you get something from it. I enjoy doing this and showing you what I do. Working with the bargain bead box is a real plus because it's just so pretty. So there we got one clasp on either end. I'm going to take the other jump ring. I'm just going to simply put it through the loop of our little toggle, our little dangle. And I'm trying to hurry, so now I'm getting messy. Yeah, so just close that up. And there is our beautiful goddess bracelet. So I will be selling stuff I make from this box in my Etsy shop. I will be doing a show and tell very, very soon. And my Etsy shop is Wildfire Jewelry Store. Capital W, capital J, capital S, Wildfire Jewelry Store. I hope you all check it out. And here is the finished items. I hope you like them. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Bye.